The world seems to be in chaos, and many are struggling to grasp the happenings in the realms of Marvel and DC. In times of need, even Batman turns to two individuals. Those two are the Ricans.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest episode of Rican. I'm Lightsaber Lou.
And I am the spawn of Satan.
Very good. Today we are with Samantha because Mo is out.
He's installed.
He's in his world.
Yes.
Right now, he's beaming around, so he'll be back in 2 weeks. For now, enjoy the show. First subject.
We're talking about comic books. There's been a few releases this past couple of weeks going on. We've got DC and Marvel coming out with a joint venture. There's actually going to be more, but the first one they've released is Deadpool and Batman on the Marvel side, and then DC side as Batman Deadpool. On the Marvel end, it's being written by Zeb Wells with the artist Greg Capullo, and the writer on DC side is Grant Morrison, which I cannot wait.
I like Grant.
And the artist is Dan Mora.
I'm curious how they're going to do that story because Batman and Deadpool are very opposite. They're very, very opposite.
I need at least one panel where Deadpool's going off and just Bruce just turns around and just decks him in the face. No questions asked, just hits him and then keeps him moving. Because he's not going to tell him to shut up.
He's not going to, he's just going to bop him. That's it. Like, tate quieto. That's it. It's over. It's over. And, And what are some of the other, because I know I'm still waiting for the Spider-Man Predator.
Yes, I didn't hear much about that because I was looking to see what else was coming out. And the only other thing on Marvel side that I did hear about was the Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, which is being written by Gary Dugan, and it's going to be drawn by Javier Garren. It's coming out actually July 16th. So
I am so tired of destroying the Marvel Universe things. Deadpool did it. Who else?
Punisher, but Punisher was so good.
Punisher did it. I'm so tired of trying to destroy the Marvel Universe by their own character.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is not their character. This is an outsider.
It's still no. It's still no.
I didn't read Deadpool Destroys the Marvel Universe. I did read the Punisher Destroys the Marvel Universe, and that story I loved how like the whole playoff between him and like you read it.
I've read some of it.
All right, him and Daredevil storyline, how like it starts off they were friends as kids, and then his whole like vendetta against superheroes because he loses his family to them, and then at the end he finds out like his best because he's the last one. He finds out like his boy was Daredevil the whole time. I cried when I read that. Oh man, like that was an informative comic for me.
I would like to see Daredevil and Batman.
That would be really cool. I think if
because they're both alike.
Yeah.
They're both very similar in their way. Yeah, that'll be.
No, they can't go clubbing together though.
No, they can't.
They would be each other's like epic wingman. There's not. That's too much.
But that would be an awesome storyline. I mean, an awesome team up because I mean, they're both similar in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. But I think that this is probably why they did Deadpool versus Batman, and like they're teaming up characters that you wouldn't necessarily think.
Yeah, that's a negative and a positive right there.
That is true. Like Joker's gonna meet him and like fall in love with Deadpool and be like, come on to my side. Like you're too good for him. He's gonna be like, you should be my guy. Like why are you doing this?
Yeah, no, that. Yeah.
If Deadpool doesn't kill him or kill someone in front of Bruce and just irk him to the point of like wanting to kill Deadpool. Oh, that would be a really cool thing. I just realized because he can't die.
Yeah.
He might be like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. Like he might actually be able to take out some aggression on Deadpool.
Yeah. That would that would be awesome right there.
There's no
way he could die.
And then, as far as I know, I don't think.
But that's only if he knows.
Deadpool's gonna flaunt it, I think, at one point, or they're gonna get into a fight and someone's gonna kill him. He's gonna be like, "Oh God, like this dude died," and then Deadpool's gonna come back like, "Oh, like that hurt."
I'm trying to get my hands on a story that it's a comic, and it's basically it should be a graphic novel by now. And Spider-Man and Deadpool, Spider-Man was dying, and Deadpool injects him with part of his blood, so they both grow old in a nursing home. So Deadpool.
That's Deadpool's dream come true.
Right. So Deadpool arranges a fake crime where Spider-Man gets to do his thing again. And I know at the end, Spider-Man dies.
I'm going to write it down.
But I want that storyline because I cannot get the name of the book. I don't know why. That book is so awesome. The premise of it is really, really good. It really is.
Why did I almost wrote down Spidey Deadpool's a notebook. They grow old together and they die in the same day.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what other like duos they do. Like Daredevil definitely should be a character that they do on one of those.
Yeah.
But who he would team up with or go
Who would you put Wolverine?
Wolverine. You can't put it with any of the women. Like I would like to see Wolverine with like Wonder Woman, but he would be trying so hard to like raise her up the whole entire time, and like she's like 6 foot and he's like 5 something.
But I mean, he went against the Hulk.
He would definitely be like, oh, come on.
He went against the Hulk.
That is true. That is true.
Didn't have a name.
But he didn't try to like screw the Hulk.
Spider-Man / Deadpool.
Yeah.
2016
I have.
to 2000.
Well, I have that original run, but I don't know if that's. I didn't finish reading it. I don't know if that's the one. That might be a one-off. I'll Google it on the break to see because like I love the beginning of the Deadpool Spider-Man when they did their team up.
And then there's I hope they don't put Hulk against Superman again.
Yeah, no. If they do like Hulk, I would like to see Hulk like against someone else.
If they're gonna do it, and the way his popularity is growing ever since the Thunderbolts, Sentry. Superman Sentry.
Yeah, I could see that.
They're both,
see that.
yeah.
You know they're definitely gonna do like Avengers versus like the
JLA.
Justice League or something like that. Or they could do like Young Avengers versus like Teen Titans or something like that. That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, that would be.
That'd be really dope.
That'd be dope.
That'd be really dope.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool to see.
Yeah, that would be. Oh my God. I'm just mad because I don't like collecting issues no more. I like getting it all in one shot. Give me the graphic novel.
I haven't done issues in a long time. I think the last issues I was collecting, Ultimates, I think, was out. And this is Ultimates when it was like Nick Fury.
Yeah, I didn't like the Ultimates.
And, well, I was just collecting it because America Chavez was in it. So I was like reading a lot of her stuff and collecting everything. I have all of the first printing of the Young Avengers when that first dropped. I have all of Miss Marvel first printings when that first dropped. So I'm pretty sure it's worth like a nice pretty penny right now. All the Loki, when Loki had his run.
Okay.
I have all those.
You know what I got? I got the West Coast Avengers when they went separate.
Oh, okay.
I got them from the old 80s, 70s, yeah.
Those are worth probably like a little pretty penny now. That'd be cool if they did those movies now too. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Well, I think it's coming because the Thunderbolts declared themselves the new Avengers. Mm-hmm. What about Captain America, the new Captain America's Avengers? And they mentioned that in the movie.
Unless Doom changes all that and makes it a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Because we still don't know what they're doing there. We were talking about, what was it, Oscar Isaac, potentially. Like, there's so many people. We're gonna.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac, they were talking about, as of last night when I saw online, that there's 3 roles that he can play. He can play Moon Knight, he can play Apocalypse, or there's a new character they would like him to play, I forgot what it is, pull off.
Well, he could play Spider-Man. He could play the Spider-Man that he did in Spider-Verse.
Please don't. Oh, no, Miguel O'Hara. Yeah.
He's the voice of that character.
That's the one. They were thinking about bringing him in.
Yeah.
And I would love for him to play that one. But don't. Moon Knight.
And it would work because of the Spider-Verse and all that stuff, so.
Yeah, it would, yeah. And I saw, I don't know if it's real or not, but I saw the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man with the Amazing Spider-Man 3. With
I know they're working on a 4th movie. Right?
What's that guy? No, it isn't with him though.
Oh, you mean the one before him? I forget his name right now for some reason.
Yeah, I forget his name.
I see him in my head. The one who's with the Gwen
Yeah.
Stacy. I feel so bad.
Yeah, the Gwen Stacy one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got Venom is in that world now, and Venom, he wears the suit and everything.
I could see him.
And what's his name? The guy that played the Venom, the what's
Tom Hardy.
He's in it.
I'm never gonna forget that name.
Yeah, he's in it. So that's gonna if that's real, it looks very interesting.
Right? What is that? I should Google his name because I'm glad that we don't know. Because I know Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and I know Tom Holland Spider-Man, but for some reason I keep forgetting the one in the middle. He's the middle child. He's the forgotten one.
He's the. That is so sad. I'm a middle child too. So that is so sad.
It's so true. But no, I can see them doing that because they don't have. I could see them not wanting to pay Marvel for Tom Holland, and they'd be like, "Oh, we'll just bring in."
Yeah, this is only. I think this is a Sony.
Yeah, because Sony did all the Venom movies.
Right, where Tom Huddle actually belongs to both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah. So I can't wait for that. If that's true, hopefully, please, Marvel gods, do it.
Yeah, I would pay money because he didn't get to have
a finale.
Yeah, no, and they were already setting up Sinister Six
when
it all ended, so we never really got that payoff.
No, and if this whole multi-universe thing works out, they have to do that.
Andrew Garfield.
There you go, ladies and gents.
I love you. So
Andrew Garfield.
My brain was working.
I didn't
so hard.
You know what's funny though? I didn't really feel him out as Spider-Man. To me, it looked like he had ADHD.
So I have this thing, right? So
yeah, he couldn't sit still. This guy.
Tobey Maguire was a good. They were both good. Tobey Maguire was a great Spider-Man, but a really weird Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was a really great Peter Parker, really weird Spider-Man, and Tom Holland is just the best of both worlds.
Yeah, but what's his name that you just mentioned?
Andrew Garfield.
There you go. For some reason, he played him off like he was ADHD, like he couldn't. But come on, shut up.
He was upping the teenage version of him.
Yeah, no.
He was doing the more like nerdier version of him. That's why I'm saying like Tom Holland, I think is really like he really gets Peter Parker. Like he has that vulnerability as a young man, but at the same time like the responsibility of this adult. Job where you're like saving the world and stuff like that. So with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, great power comes great responsibility. Just shut your mouth. Stop moving so much.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, shoot him with a tranquilizer gun.
I really want to see what if they do him as like the Black Spider-Man, like having the Venom suit and stuff like that. I would like to see that iteration.
Yeah. But yeah. You notice how all the Spider-Mans got shorter and shorter? For real, they got shorter and shorter. They got Maguire.
The budget was like, we can only afford this tall of a person.
Yeah, Maguire. He was shorter than Maguire to me, and then this guy is even shorter than the other two. I'm like, yeah.
See, and I like Tom Holland as an actor, but when he did Uncharted, and I loved Uncharted, like one of my favorite video games, I couldn't believe him as Nathan Drake. I could not.
He got too much comparison he got too much comparison to Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones.
Well, that was like the whole trope, like, and then also like he was like the male version of Lara Croft, though. So like,
yeah, I would like them to do her again. It sounded wrong, but
I would love to do her again too. That game was the new games. That was such a great. Revival of her character, and then I thought the movie wasn't that bad. I don't understand why people were so
I didn't see it
up in arms against it because it's based off of the newer games, and like they changed some things, but for the most part, it was still like the essence of her. I liked it, and I was like,
I don't know what you would call this. I don't know if it's masochist or what, but remember the game when she would say no in the classic games, you would do something, and she would be like no.
Oh yeah, when you were like,
I would make her say that all the time. No. Say it again, mommy. No. Yeah, say it again. Sure.
I always had this thing with having the camera being at weird angles. I was always trying to like get it like underneath there, so like uppies.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
But yeah.
Looking back now, like there were signs.
Yeah.
There was a lot of signs for me. Oh my god! But have you played the new?
No, I haven't played a video game in so long.
Well, you could watch them now on YouTube.
It's not the same.
Yeah, but you don't have to like some. You're not missing much for some of them. I'm not.
I used to like puzzle games, like Lara Croft. I used to love those.
Do you ever play the Street Fighter puzzle game?
No, that's where it got shitty. I mean, crappy.
What? The Puzzle Fighter was a Street Fighter where you had to play the it was like Tetris but with Street Fighter?
Yeah, no, it was crappy. No.
Come, let's play. Radio. Come, let's play. Fun is what we crave.
Let's go.
You're listening to New York City's LDM Radio. Another long stretch of continuous music.
Back into time. Flashback.
New York City's LDM Radio.
The best radio station in the world is right here, right now.
What show is this? Welcome back what? Come on, newbie. Welcome back what, newbie?
Don't give me power.
Come on. Welcome back to what?
Rican.
There you don't look at me, tell them. Let's go, nerd.
My brain is not working right now because I'm still thinking about the question from before.
She's a newbie.
But we were talking about villains.
Yes. Who would you get because I happen to believe, and I am very stuck on this, that DC has the better villains. So as a DC and Marvel, who would you get to go against each other or team up against the superhero and actually let them win?
The villain win?
Yeah.
I like villain win storylines. That's always some of my favorite movies and stuff like that. I don't know, I keep thinking about, because I'm a Loki fangirl, and I was Loki fangirl from before Tom Hiddleston's iteration, like the original old school Loki and stuff like that. So I would like to see like a Loki versus someone, but like who, I'm trying to think like I know, okay, so on DC side, the first thing that popped up was Darkseid, but I don't know if Loki versus Darkseid would work because I feel like they would team up.
I would pick Darkseid against Thanos.
That would be really cool.
I'll put Joker versus Riddler. The Riddler.
Yeah, they're both DC.
They're both DC.
No, I don't care. I'll just put them to the fight. I know they're both DC. I just want to see them move. Because if you think about it, Joker and Riddler has something in common. They pretty much, they both do Riddler, so I want to see them fight.
See what happens when the producer gets involved.
He forgets
He forgets the whole subject line.
No, I don't care. I just want to see them beat up each
DC
other.
versus DC.
Who's the real clown?
that would actually be really cool.
Who's the real clown of this?
Yeah, riddle me this.
Right?
Let's see. I really see who would Lex Luthor go against, because you know that Lex Luthor. Victor Von Doom? Him and Von Doom.
That's not bad.
Would be like, I could see them going at each other.
No, but you really can. Victor Von Doom has powers.
And I mean, even though Lex Luthor doesn't have powers, he has the ability to create stuff to make it seem like he's got power.
I would pick Luthor to go against Professor X.
Lex Luthor versus Professor X.
Yeah, and the reason for that is Lex Luthor can invent something like Magneto did to block.
That's what I was thinking right now. Like he could create something to block his abilities, but then he would have to go up against the X-Men as well, because it's not going to be just Professor X. They're going to be like, you're messing with our dad, because that's like their dad. Like,
right, but that's bad versus good. Now, what bad guy would you get for Lex?
For Lex,
who would you?
Who would be his ultimate?
Who would be his ultimate?
Ooh,
She said, ooh. She didn't say, oh. She said, ooh.
The Goblin. What's his name?
Hobgoblin? Or the Green Goblin? The Green Goblin. That'd be interesting.
They're both rich men.
Yes.
Who have these crazy companies, who have the ability to create all these crazy weapons.
Osborn, yeah.
Technically, Osborn, like, he got power through creating stuff or whatever. But even that power is subjective. So...
Okay.
Just meet him crazy.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Fans, you guys, if you have any questions, leave it in our chat. Yeah, let's see what happens. So many, right?
There are so many.
Yeah.
Like there's so many like.
And I'm mad because they're only asking superhero versus superhero. Let's give the bad guys a chance.
But then who would win in that instance? Like.
Well, bad guy.
Well, obviously a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
But do it in a way that shows their humanity. Yes, we know the Joker is evil, but the Joker has to have a heart.
So you want to do it like how Thanos wins storyline, where like we see from his perspective when he destroyed literally Thanos destroys the universe.
But you know what? I don't think Thanos was wrong.
Well, in the movie version, in the comic book version, he was definitely always in the wrong. Because all he wanted to do was please Lady Death, and that was like his main goal was to give her as many offerings.
Right.
In the movie
but
version,
now Daredevil is doing that now in the comics. He wants to please Lady Death.
Matt,
he has the hots for her.
Matt.
What is it with them liking bony women?
Matt's he's a HOE. Yeah, no, anything with legs he wants to get in between. So, and it's true. He's made his way through the whole bastion of Marvel. Him and freaking Spider-Man together, and Wolverine. That's a crew that you don't want to mess with if they go anywhere. Like Daredevil, Wolverine, and Spider-Man. Like you can't take them nowhere.
Yeah.
Can't take them nowhere.
What about Deadshot versus Bullseye?
Ooh. Okay, you see? Ooh, not you. Okay.
That's when she said Daredevil. That's the first thing
that
popped in my mind.
No, that'll be awesome too.
That'd be really cool.
That'll be
that's equal. That's equal. Yeah. Yeah, that's equal.
So having something like that, I don't know. I think I might have to go with Deadpool. I mean, Deadshot.
You see, and it's funny because you can't. I can't think of anybody to go against the Joker in the Marvel universe. There's no evil like the Joker.
But there you go, Loki. I could see Loki having a field day, and not new Loki, old school Loki, pre the siege. He would have a field day with the Joker.
Interesting.
I think that.
Well, the ego wise.
Yeah.
He would. Remember, Loki is the only reason why Deadpool thinks that there is like the fourth wall, like he talks to us, because he told him that he's not real, like he's a comic book character. That's because of Loki. So. Yeah,
I like Deadpool before Marvel made him stupid.
But he was like Deadshot. He was like just literally a carbon copy of Deadshot. He literally was made that way.
When Rob Liefeld
started making him.
One of these viewers or something put Red Skull versus Joker.
Red Skull, wow.
Red Skull is just like.
But now I'm thinking about it, Red Skull is kind of one of those, like he has a sense of humor, but also he's deadly.
Yeah.
So it could work, you know?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of like other.
Yeah.
I could see it.
He's male chauvinist and he's egotistical.
You know for a fact the amount of Nazi jokes that the Joker would be throwing at him.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I don't think.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
I could see it. I could definitely see it.
But when Rob Liefeld created Deadpool, he didn't create him to be a clown.
No.
It
was very
Deadpool?
serious.
Yeah.
Because that was at the time where Marvel and DC were like we'll create a character, we'll create the opposite character that's similar to this. And so when they did Deadshot, they made Deadpool.
Yeah.
And so it's like...
Here's a list of people who wrote writing down. Joker versus the Green Goblin.
Okay.
Senator versus Magneto.
Aww.
Deadpool versus Bullseye. Berserker versus Red Hulk.
Oh.
That one, why Red Hulk?
Red Hulk.
I don't see Red Hulk. I see more of probably green or which one? What's the color of the brain one?
Gray.
Gray. The
gray,
Hulk.
right?
Yeah.
Patch.
Yeah, Patch. I think I see that more than red. The Red Hulk with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Just because, Bizarro is not all there. You know what I mean? And, you got an intelligent Grey Hulk that will just screw his mind first. And well, don't, punt, screw the mind. Anyway. And then take it that way,
There's so many, because and also too, like in Marvel, there's so many like, DC has a lot of cosmic bad guys.
Yeah.
Whereas like Marvel has more like humanoid bad guys. So like, I don't know why Grady Goodwin popped into my head, and I'm thinking like, who got I pit her against? Because she's a character you don't really see very often, but she stuck with me. I remember watching Justice League.
Yeah, you think about it.
Old granny.
Villain wise, there ain't that many female villains
in the Marvel universe.
No. Wow.
Hela's considered a villain, but she's really more so like just in between, because she rules hell. So everyone's like, oh, she's bad, and it's really not so much that she's bad. She just happens to be the ruler of the underworld and stuff like that. So she's more not
many.
No. It's not like DC. DC has a lot of female characters.
Yeah.
Well, Punisher has a lot of female villains, but Punisher doesn't have a lot of like.
His rogues gallery is very.
Yeah. Punisher against women. Like when you think about it, like a lot of his villains were women.
Yeah. No, yeah. Punisher against women. That's calling out for jail time anytime.
Right? And I love Punisher, don't get twisted, but yeah, we were talking about that the other day. We need that a lot of his villains are females, and we're like, who hates Punisher enough to be like, we're just gonna pit all the female villains against him?
His creators. Because
yeah, man, there's a lot of good team ups that could be had. Yeah. I like the idea though of a villain winning.
Yeah,
I really do.
Because
like you don't see that very often in storylines, and it's not like, or if they win, it's only for a short amount of time. Like I would like to see them like actually like
and let them fight over. Let them fight over something stupid like the Joker, the other guy, whoever he fights against, mocks him with purple, and because I think only him and Prince could rock purple. So.
Like,
well, at least for half of the season, they winning,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like set up Batman, make it look like he's
exactly.
bad, and everybody's coming after Batman, and things like that.
Yeah, that'll be there.
Or set up Batman always trying to run and grab Joker.
It doesn't even have to be that necessarily that Batman. It could be like a different, like
any villain, Make it seem like Superman really came down to destroy the Earth,
Yeah.
And they trying to set him up, and now he's through the half season trying to clear his name or something, something like that, where it's beyond just evil and good fighting each other.
Yeah.
More like an ambiguous or.
Yeah, like make it more of a drama type of thing.
Yeah.
Where now he's not Superman. Now he's a person trying to clear his name, stuff like that. So even though he can use his power and be like, you know what, believe me or not, if you don't, I'll murder you. But
I could see that then being one of the Marvel versus DC, like Superman versus like the Avengers, something like that, where he comes and he saves somebody. It could be like how like the White Tiger situation, where like he saves somebody, but they blame him for the death of that person because he happened to be there at the wrong time and everything went down.
I wish DC did a team up with Image. Comics. I mean, I would love to see a Superman go against Supreme. You don't know who Supreme is? Oh, Supreme in one panel shows him doing like a karate chop across somebody's neck, and his neck flies right off his head.
Where is he from?
Image Comics.
Okay.
And he was, to me, more powerful. They had to dumb him down because he was more powerful than Superman. He had no weakness. No weakness at all. Rob Liefeld created him without any weakness. But they had to dumb him down. They needed a weakness. But that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think, I don't know if there's any like Marvel characters. Like there are Marvel characters who potentially on his level, but like not really. Like Thor technically could go toe to toe with Superman.
Thor would kill him.
Yeah?
Superman don't like magic. He's allergic to magic.
Oh, that's right. I forget.
So he would just destroy him.
Oh, then hell yeah, Loki should be going against it. Loki should be the bad guy that he is for full anti-hero, whatever he is now.
Yeah.
Because now he's... Yeah.
He can't go against Superman. It's sad.
Wiping the floor with him.
Easily.
Yeah, I could see that, definitely. I could definitely see that.
And what else?
Do you want to talk about Last of Us?
Oh, Last of Us. The Last of Us. I don't know if y'all like The Last of Us. I like The Last of Us, but I didn't like the season ending. And that's something we'll have to discuss after these commercial breaks. We'll be right back. Okay.
Hi, I am Charles Aloma, and I am the owner of the LDM Network, and I hope that you're enjoying this episode. But if you want to see past episodes of this show or any other of our shows, go to the ldmnetwork.net. We have large contents of different type of shows, and we even have podcasts. So again, check them out at ldmnetwork.net. So without further ado, let's get back to this episode.
There we are. Welcome back to Nerdaricans.
Good.
I remembered this time.
All right.
So we're going to talk about
We were
what you
talking
don't want to talk
about.
about.
We were talking about during the commercial, bringing up The Last of Us, which was a big disappointment for me personally. And I don't know if I'm gonna watch next season.
You're going to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. I don't like the way the show ended. I don't like the way Joel died, and now the show ended like this.
You're basically going through the stages of emotions that we all went through while playing the game.
I guess.
So, like, it had the same thing. We're playing, Joel dies, didn't want to finish the game, and then kept trudging through, and then we had that scene with poor Jesse. It's like I literally threw my controller across the room.
Everybody's complaining about Ellie's character. How it's not the Ellie the show started with.
I feel like... So I haven't played the game in a while, right? The second game, it's been a minute. I played it when it first dropped, and then I have not played it since. I've played the first one, though, multiple times since it's come out, especially when they dropped the remastered, which actually they just dropped a new remastered version of the second game with a new, like, play mode where it's like a survival mode where they introduced invisible ones of the zombies.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh man,
Come on, that sucks.
So I'm kind of curious to see how that plays. I just don't have a gaming system to play it on right now. So yeah, I haven't played it in a couple of years, and I don't remember. I feel like she's developing the same way she did in the game, and in the game I feel, and I don't know if anybody feels the same way. I felt the same way about Ellie in the second game, the way I felt about Harry Potter in the fifth book. Like, I was just annoyed by her constantly. I was just like, yo, like, shut up, like, please, like, just go on your vengeance trail and just, that's it. We're like, I don't want to hear anything else coming out of your mouth, because she was super annoying. And in the first game, she was a child, so, like, you know, when you're playing the game, you're playing mostly as Joel in the first game, and then there's some, you know, parts where did we play as her first game? I don't remember. God, it's been a while. But she was a young child where you don't really get much out of her except for her seeing, like, the fireflies with rose-colored glasses. Because remember, she thinks that they're going to save the world, they're going to do this. So she has this optimism that you kind of live vicariously through in the game. So yeah, and then the first season she was very optimistic, and she, you know, despite all that stuff that was happening,
right,
you know, she still had this idea of, like, there's going to be more to life. There's this bigger purpose and stuff like that. And then the second season she realizes, like, There really is no bigger purpose, like, you know.
Okay. I'm glad I don't play the game. I would have probably broke the game.
But nah, when I got to that part, I was a little upset too, because like the perspective shifts. I just want to tell you that they already revealed the reason why she killed Joel. So in the game, when the perspective shifts, that's when we learn, oh, okay, this is why she killed Joel. Because you never learn that in the game. You don't learn it until you start playing as Abby, and then you get the backstory of Abby, and then it goes to what happens in where they're at right now from her perspective. So Tommy getting there, Jesse getting there, them dealing with all the stuff that's going on with the WLF, the Seraphites, and all that. And then finally finding out that, oh, Ellie's also after her. So we get her perspective on everything. And I started liking Abby as a character more once I started playing that aspect of the game. Because like when I first started, I couldn't stand either her or Ellie. And I was just like, oh, and I love well-written female characters. Like I love the fact that we're playing as female characters. I was like, yes. But also, they were annoying up until that point. And then that's when I started getting like, okay, I gained perspective on Abby's side and then Ellie's side and stuff like that. So just have to like let it play out. I think a lot of people are just being a little too judgy right now. I think also too, like they're playing her emotions a little bit more muted than it was in the video game. In the video game, it's a bit more grand because it's a video game, so they have to play up these emotions and what's going on. Whereas in the show, I think they get the chance to play it a little bit more muted and a little bit more like grounded.
Right.
And I don't want to say that it's not grounded in reality in the video game because it is, but it's a little bit more like, you know. I like Bella Ramsey's what she's doing with the character.
No, I mean,
I'm not mad.
I like her as an actress, but you're killing off people that shouldn't be killed.
Blame the creators, not the actors. It's not their fault.
Game of Thrones got me mad because of that too.
Yeah. Well, also Game of Thrones too didn't follow a lot of the book storyline after a while, so a lot of the characters who died.
That's because he was too slow in writing the book, so they had to go there.
Still hasn't released it.
No.
Let's not. Let's not get into that because I have issues on him. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to see now what they're going to do with her perspective in the game because I don't think they're going to be going back to her father's death because we already know the reason why she killed Joel. So now it's, okay, what was going on in those 3 days of being hunted down, which in the game a lot of stuff goes down on Abby's side that we don't know of until we start seeing it. And we get introduction of new creatures as well. So there's a character, I'll say the name, but you won't know what it looks like, but there's a character I'm really excited to see, the Rat King. I'm really excited for them to do the Rat King, which is, yeah. It's horrible.
Oh, nice.
Everything you think you've seen so far, like the bloaters, the clickers, like Rat King makes them look like child's play.
Nice.
So, like, I'm really excited to see that. I'm also really excited to see Tommy, because, like, that scene, oh my god. So the scene where they were in the library, and you hear the people going, like, oh, there's a sharpshooter or a sniper going after what? I jumped up and was like, let's go. Come on, show me Tommy going hard, because Tommy, he came in like a wrecking ball in the game. Even though you don't see a lot of it, you see a lot of the aftermath. And in the show so far, they've already kind of done it differently because in the show, I mean, in the video game, the way you find out Tommy is there is they find a guy tied up being tortured and she realizes it's like Joel and Tommy style. Okay. And she's like, oh, Tommy's here. That's how she realizes, and not in the way that they did in the show. So that changed a little bit. But I'm still curious to see how they play out his retribution against, you know, these people who killed his brother and stuff
I just can't wait till next season. Yeah. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
But if they don't do something, I'm going to stop.
If Laura Bailey is not in the third season, I'm going to be so mad. Because Laura Bailey played Abby. And so far they've been bringing back actors. So, like, they had in the first season, I know she can't play Abby, so it's not like she'll be playing that same character. But they've already been bringing back actors who played the characters from the video game in the show. So, like, Abby's mother is played by, Ellie's mother is played by the original Ellie from the game.
Okay.
So that's Ashley Johnson. And then the guy who did Joel, he's also in it. He plays one of the villains in the first season. And then was it Marlene? She's the original voice actor and body double for it. So she did it in the game and then she played her in the show. And then same thing with this guy who plays Isaac, I believe his name is, the one who's done the WLF. What's that actor's name?
I know who you're talking about.
Oh my God, what is his name?
I know who you're talking about.
He's the voice of the Watcher in in the Marvel.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. He's great.
He's a phenomenal actor. I remember him in Westworld, and I fell in love with him there. But he did it in the game as well, so he reprised his character from the game. So I'm really curious to see.
That's I think the smartest thing they did is bring back characters that were in the video game, that they knew their characters, so they didn't really have to tell them, "Oh, this is what it is. This is what you're going to be doing." They already knew what they're doing. So I don't know if you understand, but yeah.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, almost kind of wish they could have done it with all of them, but unfortunately, some of them aren't available to probably either do it or weren't their vision for like the live action, and we're like, we'll keep it separate because I forgot the guy who does Joel in the game, but he is amazing.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to see him play.
Leave Joel alone.
Let Joel live.
Leave Joel alone. That's my man.
There's fan fiction for your problems, right? You can read a fanfic where Joel survives.
Really?
Yeah.
For my problems.
Fanfic is
made it seem like I got a mental issue.
No, fanfic is like my go-to medicine where I'm like, I hated this storyline. You go look up a fanfic that fixes this because like there's always someone who wrote it better or wrote it in a way that I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but you just made it seem like I got a mental problem.
It's not wrong to have feelings, to have a heart.
Yes, no, that's my
Grinch.
That's my man crush.
I feel you on that.
Yes.
Speaking of his man crush, his man crush Oscar Isaac is going to be in Frankenstein for Netflix.
That's not my crush, no.
No, but that's his man crush.
Ah, yes.
You have to support your man's man.
Yes.
Your boyfriend's boyfriend.
Hey, we're going too far now. We're going too far.
But yeah, he's going to be in Frankenstein, and the trailer dropped today.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
Nobody knows what Frankenstein is. It's a book. It's about a man who's on a journey to create life, and he creates this monster.
One moment. If you don't know who Frankenstein is, please turn off. Stop watching because
you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people who haven't read contemporary classics.
One of the best stories is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
And it was written on a dare, just so you know.
Yes, Frankenstein was written on a dare.
Literally written on a dare. They were all drunk. It was her husband, a whole bunch of other writers, and they were drunk one night, and they kind of dared each other, like, "Hey, write a story." I don't know if it was like they dared each other to write horror. They just dared each other to write.
The other people that wrote stories, they also got published. I think.
But not as popular as hers did. No. So, and hers, I think, was the best. But it's going to be directed by Guillermo del Toro, and Oscar Isaac is playing
great director
Victor Frankenstein.
Okay.
And it looks so good. The visuals already, he's gonna. Anything Guillermo del Toro does is gonna be amazing. So
Guillermo del Toro is a good director / writer. Mm-hmm. Very good, very talented man. Speaking of talent that we lost, Peter David. Mm-hmm. Peter David was a prolific comic book writer. He wrote books for basically Marvel, DC, and Star Trek. Mm-hmm. He never got to do a Star Trek episode, but he wrote books. And for me, he was a legend. He was up there with Stan Lee. Mm-hmm. He was good. He was a great writer. I met him once or twice. He signed a Star Trek book. I forgot the name. What was it, the Final Frontier? No. Anyway, they were good. There was a series of books he did, and they were very good. I loved them, and you will be missed, Peter David.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, man.
Rest in power.
Well,
it's always hard losing some people, especially in like the art community, because it's like we were saying, like, what if he was working on something and now he might not get to see that come to fruition, or if it does come to fruition, not his exact vision of it.
It's not like he was Stan Lee where, okay, he's gone, but his stuff is still out there.
Speaking of Stan Lee, I was just watching this video the other day where I was trying to verify it, but I couldn't find like a fully verified source. I found like half sources where apparently the original plan for Stan Lee's cameos was that they were going to have him be the old Steve Rogers.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I read that and I started choking up.
You know that
I started like tearing up because I was like, oh man, can you imagine?
I live basically 2 blocks away from where he lived. Stanley Way. The building is there, still there.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get to meet him per se. I
Me neither.
ran into him once at Comic-Con. Literally, he was coming out of a room from a panel, I'm assuming, and I was walking the opposite way, and the way like we intersected, like he almost ran into me, and like one of his security kind of like pushed me out the way, and he turned around and was like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." And then it didn't hit me till like after he walked away, and I was like, Stan Lee, like, oh my god. And I never really got to meet him though.
I did that with Rob Liefeld. I was driving, he was running, bumped into me. I'm like, you must love being road rage. You must love being road trash, because you almost got it, bro. But Rob is cool, you know. But Rob Liefeld, I've met him a few times. He's a genius. I give him that, but sometimes he gets a little too ahead of himself.
There's a lot of people who are like that, who think that they're a little bit too high and mighty just because, like, oh, I'm famous, or I created this, or I did that. And it's really like, at the end of the day.
No, and I don't mean in that way. I mean, like, once he starts talking, he doesn't shut up.
Oh, okay.
Holy moly.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way. In a good way. Like, when he promotes his stuff, he got a podcast or whatever. Mm-hmm. Holy moly. And he's going a mile a minute, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. He could put in 30 seconds at least 10 pages of something together. He's fast, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is him talking.
That hamster wheel is just going.
Yes. And he's 50, I think he's 51, I think, or 50, yeah. But he just released one of his old books again, re-released it. And I'm trying to get my hands on it, but it's too sold out already. The minute he puts something up, it's sold out. Sold out.
Not bad.
No.
Not bad.
No, it's bad. No, it's bad. It's
not
bad.
For him.
It's
for
bad.
you.
Yeah, it's bad for me, yeah.
For you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up today's episode. See you on the next one. I'm Crazy Leg Lou.
I'm the Spawn of Satan.
See you on the next Nerd Rican. May the force be with you.
All right.